It's Sunday, October 16th. Had a crazy day yesterday in college football. Today we're jumping into the NFL. But let me jump back to yesterday. Check out the Facebook page. In a little bit, I should have the results up for yesterday's college best bets. Again, we absolutely destroyed the FCS. Starting to begin to think that this is where we should go with some of our best bets. I'm telling you, went 8-2 yesterday with my top 10 games of the FCS. Did pretty well with college. College is just, oh my God, having it. We did like Tennessee as an outright winner. That seemed kind of basic. Kind of seemed like just that was just bound to happen. But they were giving you 9 points. It's a beautiful thing. But we had a decent day yesterday when it came to FBS. But today, we're focused on what's at hand here. And this is how it looks right off the bat. I will give you... I'll save the best bets so you guys listen to this whole video. I know you don't probably just get to the point, but no, I'm going to give you the leans. These are the ones I'm leaning on, and I usually grade them. If you go to our Bleacher Bum Sports Facebook page, you will see how they're done. I do them in a 1 to 5 star type of, 1 being poor, obviously 5 being great. That's how my leans go, and I have stars next to the games. Anyway, so we'll go for the game, the 1 star. That's just, and it's some people may think, oh, that's the most obvious one. I think should be your top pick, but it's you just don't know. 1 star, I got Buffalo -3 over Kansas City. I think Buffalo should win that game, but being a highlighted game of the week, both teams are going to be amped, and who knows what Patrick Mahomes is going to do. And I do have I got 2 prop plays I'll throw in with this pick. I got Patrick Mahomes over 23.5 rushing yards, and I got Josh Allen over 46.5 rushing yards. Those numbers are really low, so I threw those on the Facebook page too. Now we jump to the 2 stars, a little bit better. I got Dallas +5.5 over Philly. They're traveling to Philly today. Then we got Minnesota and Miami, under 45.5 points. I don't think there's going to be many points scored there. 3-star lean, New York Jets and Green Bay under 45.5 points. Green Bay is just, they're just kind of sputtering along. They're winning, but and you don't know what you're going to get out of the Jets. It's just my opinion. So I think under 45.5 should be the play there. 4-star play, got Tampa Bay -8 over Pittsburgh. And early in the week, I liked Pittsburgh plus the 14 that was being shown, and it's dropped down to -8. I got that as a 4-star. I almost think it should have been lower. Because it's just Pittsburgh is surprisingly bad this year, and being at home, I don't care how bad you are. A bad Pittsburgh team at home's just always scary. But then again, look who you got on the other side. It's a tough one. But I do like Tampa to cover that 8-14 away. New England and Cleveland under 43.5 points. That's just going to be could be like a Thursday night type of game. This thing could be really low scoring. And as a 5-star that didn't make my top 4 picks of the day, these games I really like. I like Seattle at home +3 over Arizona. Arizona's just, they're all over the map. They're not sure what they are. I don't even think they have an identity yet. Indy -1.5 over Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a scary team, but I just think Indy at home, and it's only -1.5. Anything more, I probably would have gone the other way, but I like Indy -1.5. I think that's a safe bet. We had Washington +1 over Chicago. That was a pretty easy win there on earlier in the week. And then we have Rams and the Panthers traveling to Carolina over 41. I think if Stafford gets his shit together and doesn't throw so many INTs, I think we'll hit that over there. I do like that. Now, my top 3 runner-ups to the best bet. These are great plays that I'm going to play myself. New York Giants. It's funny, my son is going the opposite way on this one. This is the one he and I just couldn't agree on. The Giants at home. Baltimore isn't the Baltimore of the past. Lamar Jackson's always scary, but you're giving me 5.5 points at home. I'm taking it. LA Chargers minus 5.5 versus Denver. Denver's just god awful. The Chargers are good enough that they should clear 7 easily with that game. And then Frisco minus 5.5 over Atlanta, heading to Atlanta. And I was on Atlanta's bandwagon earlier in the year, and now I'm just starting to fade them a little bit. But Frisco's defense, the total was popping in my head there, hitting the under there. That'd be another one I might think of doing too. But I usually just pick either a side or the total with these picks. Unless somebody comments and they want me to break something down for them, I usually do that for them. Now, my number 1 pick of the day. This one stuck in my head as soon as I saw it, but I wanted to dig deep enough to make sure my brain was functioning right. With all these games, it just gets cloudy after a while. Cincinnati minus 1.5, traveling to New Orleans. Typically a Super Bowl hangover is limited to the winner of usually big games. But if you looked at the Bengals for the first 2 weeks, you would have thought they not only won, but they were celebrating their victory. They looked horrendous. As favorites, they lost both games and opened the season 0-2 in the standings and against the spread. But they've turned things around, winning 2 of their last 3 and going 3-0 against the spread during this span. Now, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase returned to the Superdome, and God, place that they were so geeked to be back in the day, in the LSU days. So that's where they won their national championship, and they're going back there. They're used to playing there, and who knows? You're in New Orleans. You may bring a lot of those LSU fans. So this could become not a home game for Cincinnati, but you're going to see some fans down there, and I think that's going to play a decent part. I think Joe and Jamar want to come out of there with a win. Now, the Saints are 2-3 against the spread. They're coming off a nice win against the Seahawks, but face a much tougher task against Cincinnati's defense. Their biggest weapon last week was Taysom Hill, who rushed for 112 yards and 3 TDs. But the Seattle's defense ranks 24th against the run and is allowing over 170 rushing yards per game, which is the highest in the NFL. So that played a part in why those numbers were skewed a little bit. Now, the Bengals are not only allowing fewer than 100 rushing yards per game this season, but they have given up only 1 rushing touchdown, which is just mind-blowing to me. That puts gotta love live videos here. For the Bengals, the offseason hasn't taken off as much as expected, with the defenses keying in on stopping Chase with double coverage and then floating the top corner over the cover to T. Higgins. With Higgins potentially out, maybe the Saints will just leave covering Chase. They'll probably just focus on Chase, is what I'm beginning to think. It would be a tough battle, but the advantage stays with Chase and the Bengals. And then you add Joe Mixon against the run defense. That has allowed 130 rushing yards per game with 4 rushing touchdowns and the firepower for Cincy. I think it's just going to be too much for them to handle. So this is, to me, a no-brainer, in my opinion. The Bengals should easily win this game by at least 7 points, and everything just seems to fit that this is like the best pick of the day. This line probably should be Cincinnati Oh, -3, 3.5, 4 possibly. Cincinnati -1.5. Just as I know, the slow start is making the odds makers think one way, but I think this is a really good breakout game here for Cincinnati, and really to pour it on New Orleans and let Burrows and Chase get their win in the Superdome again. Bring back those LSU championship days. Anyway, so those are your plays for today. There's some prop plays. Actually, no, I didn't. No, I've got a couple more prop plays that I had written down. They're on the Facebook page. You got Jeff Wilson Jr., San Francisco, over 1.5 receptions. I got plus money there. Kirk Cousins of Minnesota to throw an interception. Think down in Miami, he's going to dish one up. That's plus 125. And then Stephon Diggs, Minnesota, over 85.5 receiving yards. I think down in Miami, when he's not avoiding that interception thrown by Kirk Cousins, I think he's going to receive 100+ yards today. So those are the best prop plays that I saw out there. And the best bet, Cincinnati -1 over New Orleans. So let's do those. Enjoy your Sunday. I'm going to hit the cider mill with the kids today. Be checking in on the games all day. But good luck. Let's win some money, and let's have another winning weekend.